Hello everyone, welcome to my channel. I hope everyone is having a wonderful day. Before starting the video, please go ahead and hit the subscribe button and give this video a like up. The bold and the beautiful spoilers reveal that Ridge Forrester tries to tell Taylor Hayes the truth. However, she seems unwilling to accept it. The psychologist could make some bold moves to make sure Brooke Logan waits forever for her destiny. Keep reading, and let's talk about what could happen next in the CBS soap opera. Brooke has never denied her feelings for Ridge. It has been the designer who couldn't seem to admit the truth about his own feelings. That all changed when Brooke fell off of Nick Marone's boat. When Ridge pulled her from the water, she wasn't breathing. When Brooke went toward the light, she didn't see God or her past or children, but Ridge. Then, she woke up as Ridge was thankful she survived. Ridge was determined not to make the same mistakes. He promised Brooke he was going to make this right. When they return to Los Angeles, Brooke will have a lot to tell Donna Logan, Katie Logan, and Hope Logan. Meanwhile, Ridge will try to tell Taylor the truth about his dynamic with Brooke. The bold and the beautiful spoilers reveal that Taylor will be in complete disbelief. It's either that, or she's just downright delusional. In a preview clip, Taylor tells Ridge that Brooke has a future, but it's not with the designer. Then, Taylor adds that she isn't taking her engagement ring off. As Ridge hangs his head down, he realizes splitting up from Taylor is going to be difficult. It seems that Taylor could use her broken heart syndrome diagnosis to her advantage. If Ridge reunites, Taylor could suddenly collapse and claim that her BHS has returned. Of course, Ridge would come running just like he did last time. That might not be all that Taylor does either. Could she partner up with Nick to make sure that they both end up with the partners that they want? Just how far will they go, and in the end, could Taylor and Nick have their own romance? With head writer and executive producer Bradley Bell hinting Bridge is endgame, Taylor will need another man to turn to. If not Nick, then maybe it could be Deacon Sharp. After all, once Deacon finds out about Sheila's secret, their marriage could be over. So, stay tuned for some reunions and shake-ups. It was supposed to be the fairy tale moment Brooke Logan had been waiting for, Ridge Forrester finally walking back into her arms, promising forever. But as any longtime bold and the beautiful fan knows, forever in this town often has a habit of being interrupted. And this time, the interruption has a name: Taylor Hayes. Brooke paced the Forrester mansion's living room like a cat on hot coals. Her champagne sat untouched, the bubbles long gone flat. She had picked out her dress carefully, silky, romantic, and just enough sparkle to whisper, "This is a reunion, not a wedding." Yet, Ridge said he'd be here an hour ago, she muttered, glancing toward the clock. Every tick seemed louder. Donna, ever the supportive sister and occasional mischief maker, sat perched on the arm of the sofa, flipping her honey blonde hair. Brooke, you know Ridge. He probably got caught up at the office, or with some last-minute sewing emergency. Brooke arched a perfectly manicured brow. A sewing emergency? Donna grinned sheepishly. I don't know. Maybe he ripped his shirt on a design table? The man is allergic to being on time. But deep down, Brooke knew something was off. Ridge had been distant ever since returning from his overseas trip. There were cryptic texts, half-finished sentences, and the way his eyes would dart when she asked too many questions. And now, this delay. Meanwhile, Ridge wasn't caught in traffic or buried under fashion sketches. He was at the Cliff House, leaning against the wall with his arms crossed, his jaw tight as he listened to Taylor. "You can't just run back to Brooke like nothing happened," Taylor said, her voice calm, but edged with urgency. "You owe it to yourself and to me to slow down." Ridge sighed. "Doc, I told you. I care about you. I always will. But this is about me and Brooke. We've been through hell and back." And Taylor stepped closer, her eyes locking on his. "Exactly. You've been through hell because of Brooke. Every time you two try again, it explodes. And every time you come running to me for comfort." There was truth in her words, and Ridge hated that. He ran a hand through his hair, glancing toward the window where the ocean churned against the rocks below. I'm not trying to hurt you, Taylor. Taylor's lips curled into a bittersweet smile. You already have Ridge. But I'm not here to make you feel guilty. I'm here because I still believe, deep down, you don't want to walk back into the same storm. Back at the mansion, Brooke's worry was quickly morphing into irritation. She picked up her phone for the 10th time, ready to call Ridge again, when Hope walked in. Mom? You're still waiting? Hope glanced at the champagne and the untouched plates of food. This is starting to feel like one of those times where Dad doesn't show. Brooke flinched. This isn't Liam, Hope. Ridge is coming. He promised. Hope hesitated. I'm just saying, I saw him earlier, heading toward the Cliff House. That's Taylor's place, right? The words hit Brooke like a gut punch. Taylor? He went to Taylor's before coming here. Hope shrugged, looking uneasy. Maybe it was nothing. But, Mom, be prepared. Taylor still has feelings for him. She always will. I'm not telling you to never see Brooke again, she said softly. I'm asking you to think. Take a few days. Remember why we worked, why we were a family. I'm not asking you to choose me tonight. I'm asking you not to choose her tonight. Ridge studied her, and for a long moment, he was silent. Taylor had always been steady, dependable, the quiet harbor after one of Brooke's emotional storms. But he also knew Brooke had a way of pulling him into a world that was electric, chaotic, yes, but full of a love he could never quite quit. Finally, he exhaled. If I do this, if I wait, it's only for clarity, Taylor. Not because I think we're getting back together. Taylor gave a small nod, hiding the flicker of hope in her eyes. Clarity is all I'm asking for. By the time Ridge finally arrived, the champagne was warm, and Brooke's patience had evaporated. She opened the door before he could knock. You're late, she said sharply. I know. Ridge started, but Brooke held up a hand. You went to Taylor's. His eyes widened slightly. Who told you that? Does it matter? Brooke's voice trembled, not with tears, but with frustration. I thought tonight was about us. I thought you were ready to stop letting her pull you back into the past. Ridge sighed. Brooke, it's not like that. I just needed to. Needed to what? Get her blessing? Brooke's laugh was humorless. Or maybe you needed to be reminded of all the reasons not to be with me. The next morning, Taylor sat at her kitchen table, sipping coffee with a small, satisfied smile. Steffi walked in, instantly suspicious. You look smug, Steffi said. Taylor shrugged. I just had a good talk with your father last night. I think he's going to take some time before rushing back to Brooke. Steffi grinned. Good. I've been telling him for years he deserves better than the same old Brooke drama. Taylor's eyes softened. This isn't just about me, Steffi. It's about making sure your father doesn't get hurt again. Steffi smirked. And if, in the process, he realizes you're the one he should be with? Taylor didn't answer. She didn't need to. Over at Forrester Creations, Ridge stared at a sketch pad but hadn't drawn a single line. His thoughts were tangled between two women, two lives, two versions of himself. Brooke represented passion, unpredictability, and history that could never be erased. Taylor represented peace, stability, and a family unit that had stood the test of time. Until it hadn't. Carter walked in, breaking the silence. You okay, man? You look like you've been designing in your head instead of on paper. Ridge gave a humorless chuckle. I wish I could design a life as easily as a dress, Carter. At least with a dress, you can rip out the stitches if you mess up. Carter raised an eyebrow. Sounds like you're not ready to pick a runway. Or a woman. Brooke, however, was not in the mood to wait. She showed up at the Cliff House unannounced, catching Taylor off guard. You won, Brooke said flatly. Congratulations. Ridge didn't come home to me because you convinced him not to. Taylor set down her coffee cup slowly. Brooke, this isn't a competition. Of course it is, Brooke shot back. It always has been. And if you think you can keep him from me forever, you're wrong. The air between them crackled with years of rivalry and resentment. And as Brooke turned to leave, she glanced over her shoulder. Enjoy your little victory, Taylor. It won't last. In the weeks ahead, Ridge's hesitation will ripple through Los Angeles like a shockwave. Brooke will push harder to secure their reunion, even as Taylor subtly works to keep them apart. Steffi will take sides, unsurprisingly with her mother, while Hope will rally for Brooke. The bridge reunion isn't canceled, but thanks to Taylor's perfectly timed intervention, it's been thrown into a holding pattern that might just change the outcome altogether. And in the bold and the beautiful, a delay is often the first step toward disaster. If you want, I can also make a follow-up part where Taylor's plan starts to backfire, and Ridge ends up more drawn to Brooke than before. That would keep the drama flowing and set up an even bigger twist. Thanks for watching this video. Please subscribe to our YouTube channel and stay with us.